What if the person you trusted most, the one you built a life with, turned into your darkest nightmare? This is the haunting story of Ana Abulaban, a woman who sought love and stability, but found herself trapped in a web of manipulation, fear, and violence at the hands of a man the world knew as a rising social media star. Behind the charm of TikTok fame lay a terrifying truth: a relationship poisoned by control, jealousy, and ultimately tragedy. This is not just a story about love gone wrong. It's a story about survival, heartbreak, and a final act that left the world in shock. Ana Marie Abulaban was born in the Philippines, but spent her formative years in Okinawa, Japan, shaped by the diverse cultures around her and the structure of a military environment. A woman of quiet strength and dedication, she joined the U.S. Air Force, where her life intersected with Ali Abulaban, a fellow service member. Their relationship blossomed quickly, and when Ana learned she was pregnant, she made the significant decision to move to the United States to start a family with Ali. In 2017, they married, sealing what seemed like a promising future together. However, beneath the surface of their marriage, there was growing tension. Ana's natural resilience and commitment to her family kept her focused on raising their daughter in the face of increasing strain. As Ali's online fame with his TikTok persona JinnKid grew, the cracks in their relationship began to deepen. Friends described Ana as a devoted mother and a loyal partner, though her marriage was far from peaceful. The relationship between Ali Abulaban and Ana was a turbulent storm of manipulation, fear, and violence. From the outside, Ali seemed charming, but behind closed doors, he became someone far darker. Whenever he felt his grip on Ana loosening, his temper would erupt, leading to vicious fights. He didn't just yell, he hit her, sometimes hard enough to leave bruises, sometimes hard enough to leave her broken emotionally. The house was often left in disarray after these fights, with objects shattered and furniture overturned, the physical aftermath of his uncontrollable rage. In these moments, Ana saw the worst of Ali, a man desperate to control her, to dominate her, to make her feel powerless. His anger was explosive, ignited by the smallest perceived slight, and each time he struck her, it was as if a part of Ana's spirit dimmed. But just as quickly as his rage flared, it was followed by something just as manipulative: Ali's pathetic, guilt-ridden apologies. He would come to her in tears, his face streaked with remorse, sobbing, begging for forgiveness, promising that he would change. Each time he swore it would be different, that he didn't mean to hurt her, that he couldn't live without her. Ana, trapped in the cycle of abuse, would reluctantly forgive him, convinced for a moment that maybe, just maybe, things would improve. But as the years passed and they moved to the United States, Ana's world started to shift, away from Ali's emotional stranglehold. She met new friends, saw other relationships, healthy relationships, where men treated their partners with respect, even in the most heated moments. She noticed the absence of fear, the presence of mutual care, and the way love wasn't used as a weapon of control. It was in these moments of clarity that Ana began to realize the full extent of her entrapment. Her marriage wasn't built on love. It was a prison, one in which Ali used his temper to subdue her and his apologies to keep her locked in place. Ana came to understand that what she was enduring wasn't just difficult. It was abusive. She saw through the tears and promises, recognizing them for what they were: empty, manipulative attempts to keep her under his control. But breaking free from Ali would not be easy. His need to dominate her was too strong, and as Ana grew more aware of her situation, Ali sensed his control slipping. The cycle of violence and apology escalated, leaving Ana torn between the reality of her growing independence and the suffocating hold of a man who refused to let her go. As Ali Abulaban's social media presence skyrocketed, the transformation in his behavior wasn't just online, it seeped into every aspect of his marriage. For Anna, what started as subtle control over her choices turned into suffocating domination. Ali now saw himself as a rising celebrity, and in his mind, that entitled him to absolute authority over Anna. He no longer just suggested what she should wear, he demanded it, handpicking her outfits down to the smallest detail, ensuring that she fit into the image he wanted to project. Anna was no longer just his wife. She had become an extension of his public persona, something to be managed and controlled. Ali's demands extended far beyond her appearance. He controlled her social interactions, scrutinizing who she spoke to, where she went, and how long she stayed out. A simple gathering with friends became a battleground for power. Ali would interrogate her relentlessly if he thought any men had been present, his jealousy flaring into accusations and punishment. He created a new unspoken rule in their relationship. Anna was never to be in the company of men, not even in a group setting. To Ali, her interaction with the opposite sex was an unforgivable offense, one that he treated as an outright betrayal. The dichotomy between Ali's public persona and his private self became a prison for Anna. In public, Ali was celebrated, his followers unaware of the nightmare that was unfolding behind the scenes. His fame only strengthened his delusions of control, making Anna feel more isolated than ever. The man who presented himself as lovable and funny to his fans was the same man who dictated every aspect of her life with an iron fist, the same man who punished her for the smallest infractions, physically and emotionally breaking her down. Then, this was this day when everything changed. On the morning of September 18, 2021, Ali stood outside his apartment waiting for the elevator to arrive on the 35th floor. His mind wandered, restless, as he watched the elevator numbers slowly tick upward. Nearby, a young woman stood quietly, her face etched with sadness. Ali, sensing an opportunity, approached her with a disarming smile. He introduced himself as her neighbor and, with a casual tone, asked what was wrong. The girl, looking to be around 19 years old, confided in him that she had just broken up with her boyfriend and was feeling lost. She also mentioned she had recently moved into the building. Ali, always quick to seize vulnerability, didn't hesitate. He noticed her emotional state, heightened by the smell of alcohol and marijuana lingering around her. Flirtation dripped from his voice as he continued to engage her. "Do you smoke?" he asked, feigning casual interest. She nodded, explaining that she had been drinking and smoking a lot that day. Sensing her fragility, Ali invited her to his apartment, offering the pretext of talking things through and smoking some more marijuana. Once inside his apartment, the air thickened with tension. Ali, keenly aware of her emotional vulnerability, tried to comfort her, leaning in closer. He showed her a few of his TikTok videos, trying to make her laugh and relax. He played the role of the empathetic listener, nodding along, feigning concern. With every word, he drew her in, playing the part of the understanding neighbor. As the smoke from the marijuana swirled around them, their conversation took a more intimate turn. According to the girl's later court testimony, their encounter was brief and awkward. Ali was unable to complete the job, lasting only around 3 seconds, which left him embarrassed. Desperate to salvage the situation, Ali offered to massage her. The girl, trying to ease the tension, suggested retrieving adult toys from her apartment so Ali can give her a good massage. Later, after finishing, Ali offered the girl to take a shower using his wife's favorite soap, as he told her that it's a very good product. Afterward, the girl returned to her own apartment, leaving Ali to sit alone with his discomfort and guilt. The incident left him with an unsettling feeling of what might come next. When Anna returned home later that day, she immediately sensed something was wrong. The apartment had an unfamiliar feeling, and small but noticeable changes stood out to her. In the bathroom, her soap had been used, and there were unmistakable signs that someone had recently showered. A gnawing sense of unease settled in as Anna pieced together the clues, her intuition screaming that something involving Ali had taken place. The place that was once her home now felt foreign and tainted, leaving her unsettled and suspicious, knowing that something between Ali and another had occurred while she was away. The night began with a familiar heaviness in Anna's chest, a sinking feeling she could never fully shake when Ali was around. The tension between them had been growing. Anna had voiced her need for space, but tonight, that tension hung thicker in the air, suffocating her. She felt it coming, the inevitable explosion that seemed to lurk behind every word Ali spoke. She tried to keep calm, but as the minutes passed, the anxiety gnawed at her. When the argument began, Ali's anger, as always, escalated quickly. His words became sharp, cutting through the silence of the apartment. The fury in his eyes was unmistakable, and before Anna could even think of a way to diffuse the situation, he struck her. The force of the blow sent her reeling, pain radiating from her face as tears welled up in her eyes. She knew better than to fight back. Experience had taught her that resistance would only lead to more violence. His fist came again, harder this time, bruising her skin and shattering her hope that this fight might somehow be different from the others. Anna's heart pounded as she fled the apartment, adrenaline surging through her veins. She had no time to think, only to act, her only instinct to escape. She ran, bare feet hitting the cold hallway floor, and without hesitation, pounded on the door across from hers. Carolina and Daniel's apartment was her only refuge now. When Daniel opened the door, the sight of Anna standing there, shirtless, bruised, and shaking, was enough to freeze him in place for a moment. Her words tumbled out, desperate and frightened. "I need to use your phone. Ali took mine, please." Daniel, still processing what was happening, glanced down the hallway and saw the retreating figure of Ali, heading toward the elevator. He could see Ali clutching Anna's phone, as if taking that one last piece of control over her. Turning back to Anna, Daniel saw the sheer terror in her eyes. His heart twisted as he noticed she wasn't wearing a shirt, just standing there, exposed and vulnerable. In that moment, the gravity of what she had been enduring hit him fully. He offered her a shirt, his voice gentle and concerned, but Anna refused. Her only focus was on calling for help. He handed her the phone, unsure of how to offer her comfort in a situation so raw, so immediate. As Daniel asked if she would call 911, Anna hesitated. He could see the internal struggle in her face, the tug-of-war between her fear of Ali and her need for safety. For a moment, she seemed ready to involve the police, but then, just as quickly, she backed away from that decision. Instead, she called her best friend, Claire. Daniel watched, his heart heavy with helplessness, as Anna explained the horror of what had happened and pleaded for Claire's help. For Daniel, standing there, watching Anna tremble as she spoke on the phone, there was a mixture of emotions: anger at what Ali had done, pity for the woman standing before him, and frustration at his own inability to do more than offer her his phone. He knew, in that moment, that Anna was at a crossroads, desperately trying to find a way out of the nightmare she had been trapped in for so long. All he could do was stand by, ready to help in whatever way he could, and hope that this was the beginning of her escape from Ali's violent grasp. About an hour after Anna had made the frantic phone call, Daniel saw her again, but this time she was different. She was focused, determined, and moving swiftly. Anna and her daughter were leaving the apartment with a large suitcase in tow. Her face still bore the bruises from the earlier confrontation, but there was now a quiet resolve in her expression. Daniel watched from his door, unsure if he should say something, But Anna didn't look back. She left the building, disappearing into the night, and from that moment on, Daniel never saw her again. It was as if Anna had finally taken the steps to escape not just the apartment, but the life of torment she had endured for so long. Anna arrived at her friend Claire Beneman's house, her face streaked with tears. Claire immediately embraced her, sensing the weight of the pain Anna had been carrying. As they sat down, Claire urged Anna to break free from Ali for good, telling her that it was time to end the relationship. But Anna, her voice trembling, revealed the dark truth that had kept her bound. Ali had threatened to file legal claims that would block her path to the American citizenship. Claire reassured her, advising Anna to file a restraining order for her protection, reminding her that she wasn't powerless. But Anna's fear lingered. Ali had controlled every aspect of her life for so long, and even though she had taken the first step by leaving, his threats still haunted her. Meanwhile, back at their apartment, Ali returned to an empty home, his temper flaring when he realized Anna had finally left him. The fact that she was taking real steps to escape his control made him feel desperate. In response, Ali resorted to his most familiar tactic: emotional manipulation. Regret and contrition flooded his mind as he scrambled for a way to get her back under his control. Convinced she had gone to Claire's house, Ali drove there and knocked on the door. Claire, standing firm, refused to let him in. His charm and apologies were no longer enough. He claimed he was just there to return Anna's phone, hoping the gesture would pull her back into his web. But this time, Anna saw through his act. When she received the phone, she realized it wasn't an olive branch. It was a tool. Ali wasn't giving it back out of love. It was a method of reestablishing control, a lifeline to manipulate her emotions once again. Anna sat in the quiet of her friend's house, expecting the message from Ali. She knew him well enough to predict his response. As the hours ticked by, her anxiety grew, though this time it was different. It wasn't fear of his anger that gnawed at her. It was the weariness of knowing exactly how the cycle would unfold. When her phone buzzed, she felt her heart skip, but her mind was ready. Ali's message was exactly what she had expected, filled with self-loathing, guilt, and the same manipulative apologies she had seen so many times before. He degraded himself, claiming he didn't deserve her, that he was a terrible father and husband, all while begging for forgiveness between the lines. But something inside Anna had shifted. As she read his words, she didn't feel the familiar pull to comfort him, to forgive him one more time. Instead, there was clarity, a sharp realization that she had reached the end. The anger and guilt that used to consume her during these moments were now replaced with a firm resolve. She knew that no matter how much he cried, how much he apologized, nothing would change. This was it. She typed her response with trembling fingers, but a clear heart, telling Ali she no longer wanted him, that she was filing a restraining order, and that it was time they both moved on. On the other end, as Ali read her message, he felt an initial jolt of disbelief. Anna's response wasn't what he had anticipated. He had expected her to soften, to fall back into his control, as she had so many times before. But as her words settled in, the disbelief turned to rage. His pride, more fragile than he would ever admit, took the blow like a wound. It wasn't just the rejection that stung. It was the idea of Anna moving on, of her being with someone else. The thought of her with another man sent Ali spiraling into a dark fury. To him, this wasn't just about losing control over Anna. It was an attack on his very identity. The image of Anna with another man filled his mind, poisoning any rational thought. She had declared her independence, and to Ali, it felt like a betrayal. His anger flared into something darker, more dangerous. She had humiliated him, and in his mind, she had declared war. His mind raced, plotting how he could regain control, how he could make her pay for the insult. What had once been a game of manipulation was now turning into a battle of vengeance, and Ali, in his rage, was ready to fight back. Anna, meanwhile, sat in the quiet aftermath of sending her message. Her heart pounded, but there was a sense of relief washing over her. She had done it. She had finally broken free of his grip. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to hope, not knowing that in the shadows of his mind, Ali was preparing for a war she could never have predicted. The next day, Ali went to Daniel's apartment, trying to mend the tension from the previous night. He knocked, and when Daniel answered, Ali asked if he could come inside to talk. Daniel, hesitant but polite, let him in. Once inside, Ali began apologizing for the events of the night before, but quickly shifted the conversation to something that disturbed him. Daniel's wife, casually talking to other men at the gathering. "How do you allow this?" Ali asked, his voice betraying his discomfort. To him, the idea of his wife interacting with other men was unthinkable. He couldn't grasp how Daniel could be so relaxed about it. There was a certain edge to his tone, as though he expected Daniel to share his outrage. But Daniel, calm and confident, responded simply, "I trust my wife. She's talking to my friends in front of me, and that's enough. If there's trust, there's no issue. If she ever intended to betray me, it wouldn't be this way." Ali, unable to comprehend this level of trust, stayed silent, feeling the tension rise inside him. His worldview was so entrenched in control and ownership that Daniel's casual confidence seemed foreign, even threatening. Still unsettled, Ali asked to borrow Daniel's phone, claiming Anna wasn't answering his calls. Daniel, still feeling uneasy about the whole situation, handed it over. Ali dialed quickly, his fingers shaking slightly. When Anna answered, her voice was cold and distant, telling him not to contact her again. Her message was clear. This was the end. After the brief call, something strange happened. Without hesitation, Ali erased Anna's number from Daniel's phone. Daniel, watching the act unfold, felt a deep discomfort. There was something possessive, almost territorial, about the way Ali deleted the number, as if he was trying to remove Anna from Daniel's world as well. The gesture was small, but it carried the weight of Ali's inability to let go his desperate need to maintain control even in the most trivial of ways. Daniel, now feeling a heavy sense of unease, handed the phone back and watched as Ali left, knowing there was something much darker lurking beneath Ali's carefully constructed facade. After leaving Daniel's apartment, Ali was filled with desperation. He knew the situation was spiraling out of control, and his only hope was to manipulate the truth, convincing Anna that nothing significant had happened. But behind his frantic attempts to cover his tracks, Ali felt a creeping panic, knowing that his lies were flimsy at best. He called the girl, pressing her to lie to Anna, hoping that this would help him maintain some semblance of control. His fear of losing Anna for good was growing, but it was overshadowed by his instinct to manipulate and deceive. For Anna, the entire situation was an emotional roller coaster. She was torn between her instinctive distrust of Ali and the desire to believe him, a man she had forgiven countless times. Each time he begged for her trust, she gave him the benefit of the doubt. But this time, something was different. Finally, after several attempts, she agreed to call the girl as the last try. When Anna called the girl for the first time, her voice trembled with a mixture of anxiety and hope. She wanted to believe Ali's story, clinging to the possibility that it had just been a misunderstanding. The girl, feeling conflicted, initially downplayed the situation, claiming that Ali had simply massaged her using adult toys, avoiding the full truth. Anna listened, her heart sinking, but the partial admission was enough to confirm some of her suspicions. She hung up, feeling hollow, but not completely defeated. Later that day, Anna called the girl again. She was desperate for the truth. The girl, now more composed and regretful, felt the weight of Anna's pain in her voice. She hesitated briefly, but finally admitted everything. The intimate encounter had happened, even if only for a few seconds. The girl expressed her sympathy for Anna, apologizing and urging her to leave Ali. The second call was a breaking point for Anna. Every word the girl spoke confirmed the lies she had been living with. And with that final piece of truth, Anna knew she couldn't keep living under Ali's manipulation. The pity in the girl's voice stung, but it also gave Anna the push she needed to end the relationship for good. After Anna's second call with the girl, she felt a cold certainty settle in her heart. Without hesitation, she dialed Ali, her voice steady but heavy with finality. "It's over," she told him, her tone sharp and unwavering. "I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm going to start seeing other people to find the love I deserve." On the other end, Ali's emotions erupted. Sadness and anger surged through him in waves. He couldn't believe she was leaving him. His mind couldn't comprehend losing control over her. Rage bubbled beneath his surface, but behind the anger was fear that he had truly lost her for good. He tried to protest, to reel her back in, but Anna was resolute. This time, she was free from his manipulation. In a desperate attempt, Ali tried to involve mutual friends to salvage his crumbling relationship with Anna. He turned to a close friend named Sammy, asking him to mediate and prevent Anna from filing a restraining order, which would damage Ali's reputation and keep him away from her for good. But when Sammy reached out to Anna, she made it clear their relationship was over and she was moving on with her life. Sammy delivered the message back to Ali, advising him to do the same. This response shattered Ali's hopes of reconciliation, and he realized that manipulating feelings and playing the good guy was no longer going to work. It was then that Ali began to reveal his true nature, the darkness that had always simmered beneath the surface. The mask of charm and remorse slipped, and the anger, the possessiveness, and the need for control emerged. He was no longer interested in apologies or reconciliations. What had once been attempts to regain her sympathy turned into bitterness, and in his mind, a battle had begun, one where he would stop at nothing to regain the control he had lost over Anna. In the days following their final confrontation, Ali's obsession with Anna deepened. He couldn't let go, not after she had declared the relationship over and spoken of finding someone new. He began watching her every move, consumed by jealousy and helplessness, trying to track who she was with, where she went. Each outing she took with friends gnawed at him. Every moment she spent rebuilding her life felt like a personal betrayal. For Ali, it wasn't just that Anna was moving on. It was that she was slipping further from his control. And every smile or word of comfort she received from her friends felt like another step towards someone taking what he still considered his. Anna, on the other hand, was trying to breathe again. She surrounded herself with friends, people who understood her pain and wanted to lift her out of it. Each outing was an attempt to reclaim the parts of herself she had lost, to rebuild her life outside of Ali's suffocating grasp. Her friends could see how fragile she still was, but offered her space and joy, doing everything they could to remind her of her worth and strength. For Ali, every word of comfort they gave her felt like a threat. Each friendly gesture looked, to his warped perception, like someone trying to steal what was his. Among all Anna's male friends, one person stood out as a true threat in Ali's eyes. Rayburn Cadenas Barron. Ali's obsession with Rayburn grew every day, as he believed Rayburn was getting too close to Anna. He began following Rayburn's every move, tracking his meetings with Anna, consumed with jealousy and suspicion. His anger deepened as he convinced himself that Anna was having an affair with Rayburn, and in a fit of paranoia, he shared his thoughts with his childhood friend and cousin. Ali vented his rage, claiming that his wife was cheating on him with Rayburn and swearing revenge. His cousin, unaware of the full situation and seeing Anna as the villain, suggested that Ali simply divorce her. failing to understand the depth of Ali's obsession and control. On the other hand, Rayburn, unaware of Ali's growing rage, became a source of comfort for Anna. He encouraged her to reclaim her independence and return to her apartment rather than continue staying in hotels or at friends' places. Trusting his advice, Anna called Ali and informed him that she would be moving back into their apartment and that he needed to find somewhere else to live. Anna had prepared herself for an angry outburst, but, to her surprise, Ali accepted the request with unsettling ease. Confused but relieved, Anna thought Ali had finally moved on, and that perhaps this would mark the end of their toxic relationship. But Ali, consumed with thoughts of revenge, saw this as an opportunity to monitor Anna more closely. Before Anna's return, Ali went back to the apartment and planted a recording app on his daughter's iPad, hiding it behind the bed so he could eavesdrop on all conversations in the bedroom. In his mind, this was his way of keeping tabs on Anna, convinced that she would betray him. Yet, his rage was too great to leave without a final, narcissistic act of dominance. In one last spiteful move, he gathered all of Anna's remaining belongings in the apartment and threw them in the trash, leaving behind a clear message that even though he was physically absent, his presence and control still lingered in every corner of her life. Anna arrived at her apartment expecting peace and a chance to prepare for the coming divorce, only to be met with a surprise. Most of her belongings had been thrown in the trash. In shock, she quietly called the building management to request access to the trash room, but they informed her, with little sympathy, that she couldn't enter. The next morning, determined to distance herself from Ali, Anna visited the building management office to request his name be removed from the lease, change the locks, and alter parking access. The management agreed, but required her to complete paperwork first. Despite her emotional exhaustion, Anna was determined to take control of her life. On the morning of October 21st, 2021, Ali woke early, obsessed with spying on Anna. Using the hidden recorder app on his daughter's iPad, he listened intently, waiting for any sign of her moving on. His anger escalated when he overheard a conversation between Anna and Rayburn Barron, the man he had long suspected of being too close to her. Furious, Ali decided to act. He rushed to building,
running through the parking lot, tightening his belt. He's on the elevator, and he's calm. You saw that elevator ride. He's looking at his phone, he has his key card out, texting someone. He's calm. He's not mad. He knows what he's going to do. He gets right off the elevator, doesn't even wait for the door to open because he has his plan. His plan to kill. I'm going to catch them. I'm going to play the video and audio one more time because it is so important for you to hear how quickly he committed his murders. And you heard that door open, and a second and a half later, he's firing.
storming into their home using a spare key. As the door swung open, Ali saw Anna and Rayburn sitting together on the couch. Consumed by jealousy and rage, he pulled out a gun and shot Rayburn in the head. Anna, terrified, tried to shield herself and Rayburn, but Ali turned the gun on her, firing multiple shots. In a final act of cruelty, he placed 2 bullets between her legs, a twisted display of dominance before fleeing the scene. Nearby, Daniel's wife, hearing the gunshots, immediately called her husband, who was already heading to the apartment via the elevator. When Daniel arrived, he encountered Ali in the hallway, noticing something off in his demeanor. Daniel told Ali that he is free now and they can hang out together, But Ali, brushing Daniel off coldly, told him to mind his own business before disappearing. Daniel's suspicion grew as he returned to his wife, who explained what had just occurred. Realizing that Ali was the shooter, Daniel rushed after him, but was too late to catch up. Meanwhile, Ali, panicked by the enormity of what he had done, called his parents. Though he intended to flee, his mother urged him to stop and ask for help. Torn between his instinct to run and the guilt weighing on him, Ali finally called 911.
Yes, ma'am. My wife and another man were, I found them dead on the couch. Bullet hole to the face.
Wait, someone was shot?
2 people, a man and my wife.
Okay, what's the location? What's the location?
It's 1475 Island Avenue, San Diego. It's going to be apartment 3508.
Apartment, okay, hold on, this fire. Apartment 3508?
Yes.
Okay, stand by.
Please help my wife. Please help.
Okay, hold on, sir. Sir, stand by. I'm bringing on my supervisor. What is your name?
My name is Ali.
Ali? Okay.
Yes, I'm her husband.
I understand. Ali, what's your last name?
Abulaban. Abulaban.
Okay, hold on.
Please help them.
Sir, stand by for my supervisor. Do not hang up, okay?
Okay, but you need to
hold on.
I'll be here in just a second. What's the number?
34026. We will need medics. He says his wife was shot.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Ali?
Yeah.
Ali, are you there with her? Are you in the apartment?
No, I left.
Okay. Are you nearby?
I'm new there.
Okay, hold on. I need to confirm the location. Listen, 14755.
San Diego, next to Vinavon Park, 1475 Island Avenue, apartment number 3508.
3508? 08.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So hold on. Tell me what you saw when you went in there.
I saw my wife on the couch.
Wife is on her?
I don't know who he is. I know him. He's in a grave.
Ray? Okay, I know you said your wife was shot in the face. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in the forehead. And he had 2 or 3 bullets in the head.
He's also shot? Ray is?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have the gun still? Was there anyone else in the apartment?
No, I don't know. I just talked to him.
I'm sorry, was it 2 people that were shot inside the apartment?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have 2 people shot inside the apartment and no one else, as far as you know, was in the apartment, right?
No, ma'am. I couldn't even breathe my phone. It was so terrible.
Okay. Was it an accident? Did he say it was an accident, or did he know who did it?
Yes. So,
He
sir?
just connected, right?
Oh, he just did, yes.
Okay.
I'll call that.
Do we get any further?
No, he said he walked into the apartment, the wife was on the couch, she was shot in the head, and there was a man in there who was also shot. And then we have the name Ray, and that was really all he said. And he said he's leaving. I'll call him back.
Okay, who ran?
He ran out of the apartment. He left the
And the
apartment.
second male was shot. Was he on the floor?
He said that before the hot call, he said they were both on the couch.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
After Ali made his 911 call, the nearest police car sped to the scene. The officers arrived at the building and were met by Carolina Prieto, Anna's neighbor, who described what she had heard. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the officers tried to call for backup, but struggled with a weak signal. One officer sent a general distress signal, prompting a swarm of surrounding police units to flood the area in seconds. The building outside Anna's apartment filled with officers as they quickly devised a plan to storm the apartment.
Let's go back. I can hold it for the shield. Fuck, dude. Alright, go. 2, 3. One more. I got eyes. Hit it low, underneath the handle. One more.
Clear that room right there.
Bathroom's clear. I got it. I got a closet. Alright, room's clear. What about this? Clears out. Ready? Fuck.
The officers entered the apartment and were met with a grim scene. They found Anna and Rayburn, both lifeless, their lives brutally cut short. The apartment, once a symbol of Anna's hope for a new beginning, was now a tragic crime scene. As the reality set in, officers contacted the building manager, instructing her to evacuate the ground floor and send an urgent message to all residents, warning them to stay inside as a potential killer was still on the loose. Meanwhile, Ali, knowing the consequences of his actions, was quickly tracked down by the authorities. Within an hour of the incident, he was arrested without resistance. From there, a year-long trial began, where Ali desperately tried to defend his actions.
She was free to do what she wants because you were separated, right?
You asked me if Anna was free to speak to other people.
Right. But she was not free to speak to other people in your mind, right?
She has plenty of friends. She has plenty of people she can speak to.
I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about
If you're talking about a
flirting.
sexual relationship, no.
Can you repeat your
Sorry. If you're referring to a sexual relationship, no.
You are flirting with another woman, and my question was, you are entitled to do that, but Anna was not entitled to do the same with other men, correct?
I'm not exactly sure if she did that or not.
She wasn't entitled to in your mind, correct?
That's not how I look at it, no.
But that's what you told her. You constantly told her about her being with other men, seeing other men, cheating on you, things like that in October, correct?
My concern was I understood that I had done something terrible multiple times.
But you said those things to her.
And
That's
my
question.
intentions with saying those things to her was, I understand if you need space, you want to stay at your friend's house, but I want to understand, are you going to be seeing some other people? She would never directly answer that question. She would leave me in the loop. She would leave me in some kind of void of confusion. She would tell me often to go talk to other people, and I would argue that. But these conversations, like flirtations, conversations, or like Ashley Sanchez, these are moments of my loneliest moments. These are moments where I was hurting and alone, and I'm not sure what the status is of me and Anna's relationship because I'm confused.
She was not free to do those things with other men.
I would have preferred if she didn't.
Right? This is another attempt for you to be controlling over Anna, correct?
It's another attempt of me trying to vent my frustration of how things are going between me and Anna.
And often during your marriage to Anna in 2021, you were degrading to her in front of her friends, correct?
No, I would not be degrading to Anna. What I would do is blatantly state if I have a problem with something her friends are doing right in front of them.
You would call Anna ugly in front of her friends?
I would never call her ugly. She's the most beautiful woman to me.
You would tell Anna what to wear and what not to wear, right?
My fashion is terrible. I love her fashion.
You would tell her what male she could or could not be around, correct?
No, she was around a lot of males that I was hanging out with, but I would tell her if I felt somebody was not someone good that she would talk to, yes.
You would tell her that she could not go out with other people without you, correct?
No, that's not true.
You actually always had to be with her going out, right?
That's not true. I worked a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. What do you think she was doing at those times? She was out at the gym with her girlfriends, going to get her nails done, going to lunch, taking the daughters to the park. These are things that don't include me.
Going out at night to bars and clubs and other things, you would often tell her that she couldn't go out without you.
I would say that I know that if she were to just go out with her girlfriends, of course she could go out. But I know what the friend group consists of. It is not just girls. It is men that these women are sleeping with. And these are people that I'm supposed to be friends with, that my wife wants me to be friends with. So of course I'm not comfortable me being left out of that. So yes.
He attempted to twist the narrative, claiming that Anna had emotionally manipulated him, trying to cast himself as the victim in a crime of passion. But the prosecutors, presented with irrefutable evidence, saw through his lies. The trial ended with a sentence that fit the gravity of his crime.
I've watched him here during all of this time. He is a very talented actor. He is a very talented actor. When I saw the Scarface videos, it's as if when he committed these crimes, he became that persona of Scarface. of just the cold-blooded killing without remorse. Any tears that he's cried in this courtroom have been for himself. They are not for Ray and Anna. It's just, that's the reality. He fears the consequences, as he should. Character kind of came through, and we ask, who is Ali Abulaban? That's who he is. He's somebody that is only thinking about himself, and the idea of killing two innocent people doesn't disturb him. It's chilling. So the bottom line here is he will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath.
Ali Abulaban, once known as JinnKid on social media, was sentenced to 2 consecutive 25-year-to-life terms for the brutal murders of Anna Abulaban and Rayburn Cadenas Barron. The weight of the verdict fell like a final stone in a long journey of lies, manipulation, and obsession. Anna and Rayburn were gone, but Ali would live with the consequences of his actions for the rest of his life. For Anna's family, the news that Ali Abulaban would spend the rest of his life in prison brought a sense of relief and comfort. After months of agonizing pain and loss, knowing that justice had been served helped bring some closure. Anna's family still have one final wish left unfulfilled. They requested that her body be returned to the Philippines, where she could be buried alongside her family, a place where her loved ones could mourn her and find peace, knowing she had returned home. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime stories. See you in the next video.